Ellie came into the story very late on. It happened because she was oddly fascinated by the wood. Not that it was very different to look at from any of the several patches of woodland in the enormous grounds of the great country house, some of them really big, forests almost, others no more than a couple of dozen trees. This one was in between, lying in a wide dip in the rolling parkland on one side of the picnic area, with the house itself in a similar dip on the other side. Ellie, as usual, finished her lunch long before the others and rose. "Where are you off to?" said her mother. "Can I go and have a look at that wood?" "What about it?" Her brothers glanced up from their Game Boys. "It's a wood," said Jim. "That's enough for Ellie. Lots of mouldy old trees," said Bob. "It looks interesting," said Ellie. "I want to know what it is. I think there's a notice board by the gate." "Oh, all right," said her mother. "Stay in sight. Don't be too long. I'll wait for you here." The notice said, "Private. Dave's Wood. Conservation Area. Nature trails 2 to 5 p.m. Weekends only. Tickets at East Gate. School parties by arrangement. Call 731-4492. Ellie made a note of the number. The gate was locked. There was a solid-looking fence, high as a man, running in either direction. She walked along it to the right, peering into the darkness under the trees. The wood was full of birdsong. Apart from that, she couldn't see anything to make it special for anyone else. But yes, some of the trees did seem to be really old, and for her that was deeply fascinating. It made her skin crawl to think how long they had stood there, while people had come and gone. As the fence curved away, she looked back to the picnic area, where Dad and the boys were getting to their feet. Mum was looking towards her. Ellie waved. Mum waved back and settled to her book. That was all right. She'd be happy to sit there reading all afternoon. It was Dad and her brothers who wanted to do stuff. Ellie walked on. She was watching a jay hunt for grubs along a dead branch when the yobs caught her. She worked out later that they must have seen her coming from some way off and lain in wait for her, and then she'd got it dead right for them, dead wrong for herself. She'd actually stopped at a place where a kink in the line of the fence hid her from the picnic area. The first she knew about them was the jay's wild alarm cackle and then a tap on her shoulder. "Hi, babe," said a boy's voice, trying to sound like a man's. Her heart bounced. She started to turn. A hand clamped across her mouth as she tried to scream. She bit it. The boy cursed, but merely shifted his grip so she couldn't bite, then grabbed her right wrist and twisted the arm up behind her back. "Grab her back, then," he muttered. "What are you waiting for?" Another boy, so there were 2 of them, started pulling the shoulder strap of her satchel down her left arm. She wrestled with them, sobbing, trying to kick out, trip one of them up somehow. "Stop that, you lot! Lay off!" said a different kind of voice. A kid's, too, but even and confident. It seemed to come from the other side of the fence, over on her left now after the struggle. A moment of startled silence. A snarl of curses cut short by the flare of a photo flash, bright in the corner of her eye. Ellie sensed the sudden uncertainty in her captor's grip and wrenched her head free and yelled, gulped breath and yelled again at the top of her voice.